I'll let you lead. I want to talk about perfection. I've been thinking a lot about that because I just uploaded my first video and it's far from perfect, right? There's a million things I don't like about it and that I would like to change. Still, I force myself to upload it. And I'm glad I did. But this got me thinking, right, about perfection in general, about this feeling. And this led me to the concept of overengineering, right? That it's usually, I came to realize that it's usually conflated with perfection, right? And what do I mean by that? Is that perfection in the industry has a negative connotation, right? Um, I remember many times being told, well, we don't want to, do perfect. We don't want to build the perfect solution, as if it's something bad to to aim for that. And I understand why, because this happens, quite a lot. Um, Now the thing is, overengineering is of solving the wrong problem, right? And I think that's key because when people say there's no, we don't want to achieve perfect, I believe that there is a perfect solution, right? With a one big caveat is that to achieve a perfect solution, you need very clear set of requirements, right? You need every possible constraint. And what it will end up happening is that you will end up with only one possible solution. And that's kind of ironically the perfect solution because it's the only one. Um, so I think that, for example, imagine you start a new project. You have every tool at your disposal, every programming language, right? You choose one or another. If you do, I don't know, serverless, for example, I believe that Python is a good one, a good choice, because you don't need a compilation step, right? You can just upload your files to the Lambda, and and you save a lot of time in the build process. Um, but for someone else may not be for because they have a different set of constraints because maybe they just don't know Python, right? Or they want something that runs faster. Now imagine you choose Python and you want to do web development. You have, for example, Django or Flask. Which one you choose. It depends. I mean, you can achieve the same result with both, yes, but they are there for different reasons, right? They're different tools. There are different philosophies, completely different philosophies behind them. So why would you choose one or the other? Set clearer requirements, set stricter constraints, and the solution will follow. And that will be the perfect solution for you for that case. When you have an over-engineered system, in my opinion, the cause is a matter of requirements. And by requirements, I mean also in the sense of product requirements. Because when you have a system, be it a library, an API, or whatever, even an internal tool inside a company, you have a product and you have customers. And I know we want to believe that we have something pure, that it's not a product. This is a system. This is purely technical. It is a product as well. Not in the marketing sense, of course. You're not gonna go and advertise, I don't know, your internal database or whatever. Doesn't matter. But you have requirements, you have users. Those users, they have needs that you need to understand. And you need to understand how to properly address those. Because you may have a service, but maybe those needs are better addressed by a library than an HTTP call, right? So instead of giving them an API, maybe you give them a library. You need to think of your systems as products, and as such, you need to define properly the requirements, and then the solution will follow. And how can you tell if you have an over-engineered system? For me, the clear tell is when you start asking, why are things built the way they are? So imagine that you have a system and you believe it's over-engineered. The most classic example is you have a team of 3 people and they maintain 5 microservices, and those microservices share data among each other. So, how can you tell that it's over-engineered? By figuring out which problem they were trying to solve, and most likely you will arrive to the conclusion that they're solving the wrong problem. And how can you tell that? Because neither problem is properly solved. So what you end up is with a system that solves multiple problems partially, doesn't solve any of them completely, and on the way introduces a bunch of other problems that you wouldn't have had, you know. And to sum up, what I want to say is that I believe that this is a problem of requirement gathering, of call it product engineering, if you may. This is a consequence of gathering and solving the wrong requirements and engineering for the wrong requirements. Thank you for watching.